All right, lastly, let's move on to different intellectual extremes. So going back to this normal distribution, um, again, average IQ is around 100. That's where 68%, majority of your population is going to be around this 100. However, as we were kind of hinting at earlier, you have about 2% of your population in each of the tails. So this is what we're going to talk about now. You've got your highest, about 2.5%, or in general, IQs that are about above 130. We call these individuals especially gifted. We also have the lowest 2.5%, though, the individuals who are less than about 70 IQ. And we tend to classify these individuals as having an intellectual disability. Let's start with high end first. When you hear the word gifted, that tends to refer to individuals that have this IQ score of 130 or above. And again, they kind of break this down into more descriptive words that you could use to define someone. So if you hear someone say like, oh, he's a genius, or she's a genius at this thing, that means you tend to have a high IQ, but also very high creativity. So maybe you're really good at music, for instance, and achievement. So you're really high performing, you're achieving greatness. So they tend to call these people a genius. Someone is said to be Mensa if they're in the top 2% of IQ test takers. So if you hear these two words, they're referring to individuals who are considered gifted. However, there's some challenges for these individuals. These individuals aren't just, sailing through life, having everything come easy to them. There tend to be challenges for individuals who are gifted in the US school system because they aren't being challenged in their programs. Programs tend to be geared towards the average student, and so they might be bored, they might not pay attention as much because they don't feel as intellectually stimulated in their courses. So they need programs that are tailored or changed to their abilities. You might see this is why, like for instance, there's kind of a progression now for schools to allow students to maybe advance grades or take college classes earlier or things like that. So being able to kind of adjust and accommodate for an individual's intelligence level and challenging them in their current course load. That's all we're going to talk about with giftedness.